Hello and welcome back. In this short lecture, we're going to learn about Android Enterprise work profile specific to email configuration. To create the profile, you can go back to Microsoft Intune portal and click on device configuration. Then configure here profiles under manage section and click on create new profile. So when you click on create profile, it will ask you to enter the name of that profile which you're going to configure. I'm going to give as a meaningful name here Android Enterprise Work Profile, which is specific to email. So I'm just giving as email, which is ending. And here I can choose Android Enterprise, and the profile type under Work Profile I'm going to choose as email. That's what I have given as a name also. Now here you have email app, and which has the two different settings. If I just drop down here, you can check out here. One is a Gmail, other one is a 9work. Most of you already know what's Gmail. If you're quite new to what is 9work, 9work is nothing but it's a full-fledged email application on your Android-based devices, which directly puts the technology to synchronize Microsoft Exchange servers with the ActiveSync. So it's a collaboration between Exchange ActiveSync functionality, and if you're trying to configure that, you can configure this specific settings relevant to the 9work. So for you, it doesn't matter actually how you choose. For example, if I choose 9work or the Gmail as the Intune admin, all you have to do is you would be getting the similar settings, and you must have to enter the required configuration. For example, email server at the what kind of attribute you want to target. For example, as your EAD or maybe UPN name or maybe a username based. Similarly here the email ID information also. Let's jump into the session and how best we can do it. So let's click on the settings, and you would be getting here, as I explained here, two options. One would be the Gmail and 9work. As we understand last few seconds or few minutes back that we have to do the similar configuration, either Gmail or 9work. It's going to be the same configuration, but you are explicitly telling to the device that hey, it should be specific to ActiveSync related or just the Gmail. So that's what you're gonna configure. So when you choose the Gmail, whatever the Office 365 configuration you wanna push it as part of your device's work profile configuration. For example, you want to configure on those devices Office 365 automatically on those devices. You can do that, and here you can enter the Office 365 email server. For example, for the Office 365, as the example here showing as outlook.office365.com should be entered. And the next step would be either you need to choose here either attribute from UPN name or could be a username. So let's select as a UPN because that's what is the easiest configuration. UPN stands for, like, you can give the direct username at the rate domain name. For example, if my users are coming here, if you can see here Paddy at Intune 990.onmicrosoft.com, that's going to be my one of the UPN name. Or if I already register my domain name with some specific name, for example, in our case we configure as omnia.com as the registered. So whatever the UPN name here, you can give that UPN name automatically. It's going to take that UPN name. Similarly, the email attributes also going to be taken as SMTP or UPN name. So this is what it's going to talk. And if you're not clear on these specific settings, let me show you that specific setting also. To explain in a short and sweet way, you can check out here my domain name is already verified and all the users are already changed to login from omnia.com as the username. You can check out here, and if I go back to the Office 365, I have all the users also. Similarly, it's showing as my domain name. And if I go back to the more Exchange property values here, you can check out here the SMTP value also showing as @omnia.com. Similarly, because we have done in the on-premises also, the UPN name has been changed. So let's begin to understand more about what kind of configuration you're going to use. So in both the cases, I'm going to use as the UPN name. That's nothing but my username at omnia.com going to be created. And do you want to authenticate what kind of methods you want to use? So here you can use the username and password so that the users can log in by entering the username and password. And if it is a certificate has been issued for the user specific certificates, then it doesn't even ask for that. It's going to be selected that specific certificate because the certificate is already available on that devices. But in our case, we're going to choose as the username and the password, and we are also going to enable SSL is required, so we are enabling that. And amount of the synchronization here going to be synchronized. For example, here, do you want in a day only once, or thrice, or thrice a day, or unlimited? So most of the time we choose as the unlimited email synchronization. That means whenever it's users are pulled down or they try to sync, it's allowed for them, so that they can always enable for us to communicate over the emails. That's the best configuration because email synchronization takes very little amount of the data. You can configure as that, and you can click on OK. What if you want to do it 9 work, very similar configuration. You can check out here the email server and the username. You have the same configuration like UPNs, and you can also configure SNTP, also UPN name. And authentication method also very similar, like username and password or the certificate method. And amount of the synchronization also gives here. You want to configure as unlimited or daily once or thrice or once a week or 2 weeks or once a month. So it's going to be unlimited emails to be synchronized. And let's also you have also additional configurations where you want to sync only specific to contacts. Do you want to sync, or you want to sync your calendars and the tasks? You can sync all that specific configurations also when you choose 9 configure 9 work profile. And let's click on OK, whatever the settings you want. For example, I missed out here the outlook.office365.com entering, so I'm just going to enter that value and then click OK. So it's going to create that specific profile, and post to that I can simply, once I created this profile, I need to assign that to a required group. So I'm just going to assign this to my all finance users group, for example, in this case. Select here and next and save. That's going to assign for the required users. If you want to evaluate, you can evaluate that specific group so that the users will pull that policy request, and it's gonna verify it with that specific settings to be configured on those specific devices. Let's go ahead and conclude this. What we have done so far, we did created an Android enterprise specific platform, a related profile type as a work profile, and we configured the email settings. That concludes the specific lecture. Thank you for watching this.